Hey friends, Charles from the Gentleman's Journey here, and in the past month and a half I've been wearing these Richmond boots by Parkhurst. I put over 26 miles in them. Now this is the Charles F. Stead leather. It's the Dachshund color in their Rambler leather. I'm going to go through the build quality, the construction, the nuts and bolts, kind of the size and fit, how they've been for me in the past month and a half. So hang back for the video. Hey friends, welcome back to the Gentleman's Journey. Today is a massive day on the channel because we're talking Parkhurst. Now I've wanted to get my hands on these boots for some time, and today this is it. So guys, I have the Richmond boot, and this is in the Charles F. Stead tannery leather. So this is gonna be their Rambler leather in the Dachshund colorway. So really exciting, a full mouthful there, a lot to unpack with this boot, but let me tell you just a quick bit about it before we get into this kind of 1 month situation. Has a really good rugged mini lug outsole, has a leather stacked heel, has a Goodyear welt, an actual cap toe. Again, it has these speed hooks at the top. You guys know I love the speed hooks, and it gives you some nylon laces or leather. Really great company. We're gonna learn a lot about them. In the next month, I'll be talking about Parkhurst as a company. I'll be talking about the build quality, the construction, the sizing, the fit, all the nuts and bolts on these boots. So just briefly on the sizing, I did get a size 11 in these. They did send me out an 11 and 11 and a half. I was able to try them on. I actually had them on for over an hour, and I was really close call. I went with the 11. So friends, I have an 11 in my Franks and my Whites and Nicks. I have 11 in my Iron Rangers, and then I have 11 and a half in Thursday Boot Company and my Red Wing Mock Toe. So I'm kind of in between 11 and 11 and a half. I went with 11 on this option because it just felt like it fit right. Of course, it's gonna breathe and flex as I wear them and break them in. I get moisture and oils moving around. It's gonna spread even a little bit more. So super comfortable boot. I can't wait to get into this with you guys. You know, I'm over here in Washington State right now. We'll see where I end up in a month. But friends, I'll catch you on the first update. Well friends, here we are on one of our first updates on these Parkhurst. I made my way out of the Pacific Northwest, down home in Colorado, in the shop. What a better place to be, guys. Check out these boots. So let me tell you, these things are just growing on me more and more every single day. I really did want them when I was looking them up online. It had everything I was looking for a really nice kind of rugged service style boot. The leather is phenomenal. This is not something that you couldn't dress up. It still looks very sleek, very clean, but it has kind of a rough vibe, rough texture to it, and I am really enjoying that. This is just the kind of boot that I could see wearing every single day. Traveling, world traveling, you know, in and out of the stores. I could wear this to church. I could perform a wedding. I could preach in this thing. I could do all kinds of things. It dresses up and dresses down very well. It's still a pretty sleek, slender profile here, looking top down. It's not too bulky or clunky or even too heavy. I love the rugged outsole, kind of that half lug, mini lug. Stacked heel is just the perfect height for me for an everyday boot. Not too high, but not too low. These boots are just growing on me. So let's talk about the break-in process real quick. Nothing has been painful at all. I've broken in a lot of boots by now. Check out the channel. You'll see all the boots I've gone through. These guys are doing really well. I ordered 2 sizes, and of course I went with the 11. I had to double check. I went with the 11. And I ordered the 11 and a half, and I was able to compare the two. I am happy that I went that route because everything is going good. Nothing is too tight. I guess it's just the perfect fit. So it's not too tight or too loose. It's not loose by any stretch, but I was a little concerned that maybe in a month or so I'd feel like it's just a little too tight, but I don't think it's stretching per se at this point too much because it was just the right fit in the beginning. So that's working for me. No hot spots, nothing going on that's out of the ordinary. So first couple weeks have been very good, guys. I'm getting out of Colorado soon, going to New Mexico and Texas. So I'll catch you guys in the next update. So here we are, friends, a month and a half later, and I've got 26 miles in these boots. You know, I'm working through a lot of boots, so it's interesting trying to wear them all every single day. There's a lot of situations where I haven't wanted to wear these because I didn't want to scuff them or ruin them with some of the work that I do. But let me tell you, I am so excited to dive into these, to get into the build quality, the construction, all that. So what I like to do is look at the boots from top down as if you're wearing them. So the first thing that you're gonna notice, that I notice, of course, is the laces. So right now I'm running the leather laces that they included in there, and then they also have some flat laces, more of a nylon material. I think the leather is the perfect look for these boots. And then you're gonna have 3 speed hooks and 4 eyelets. Now I love the speed hooks at the top. I really don't like when they put another eyelet at the top because I just never use those. That's a waste for me. Even in work boots, I just don't find myself using those. So obviously a really sleek profile there. These are 6-inch boots. And guys, we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about this leather because of course the leather is one of the big draws to this boot. Such a beautiful leather. This is going to be the Charles F. Stead. This is their Rambler leather, and it's in their Dachshund color. So they have a bunch of different colors in the Rambler. So what this is, it's kind of like their Kudo leather in that no 2 pairs are gonna look alike. In fact, there's some dissimilarities, if that's a word, between the 2 boots even. So it's a suede type of leather. So what we're looking at is the inside of the hide, not the outside. So your Chrome XL, your smooth skin leathers, all of the traditional leather is what we're used to seeing. And I think back in 2015, they introduced this on boots, and then we started seeing it from there. So in some of my research, I found that the Truman Company started using this leather on boots. Now you're gonna see it on handbags, belts, wallets, all kinds of different stuff. So what we're probably used to seeing, what I'm used to seeing, a lot of guys out there is Chrome XLs, the smooth leathers, calf skins, the suede, of course, and then some of the rough out, like in the work boots. I have some Franks. My Riker ATs is gonna be a rough out. A couple pairs of my Chelsea boots is more of a rough out. You see the suede, but this one here shows the really cool characteristics, kind of the veining, and this is actually shrunken. So when they shrink the leather in the tanning, in the making of the leather process, they actually shrink it, and so it makes for tighter fibers. The grains are gonna close up, and it's actually gonna be stronger than if it was loose. Now in that, I found it surprisingly flexible. I thought it was a very pliable leather compared to maybe some of my work leathers. It also feels quite a bit thicker than some of the boots I have. So it's worn. We're gonna get into kind of the first month and a half for me, but I feel like it's tougher than a lot of the off-the-shelf work leathers. So this leather right here has just been phenomenal. It's my first leather by Charles F. Stead, and I'm excited to get more of their products. They have a bunch of colors. I thought this was kind of a classic. It's not gonna, you know, ruffle any feathers. It's not gonna stand out too much, but I've already got a bunch of compliments on it because I think it's distinct enough that it just stands out from the typical leather. That I did get some compliments on the actual boot and the leather itself. So this is very dusty. I've been out hiking and traipsing around. It's not a hiking boot, but it really has a nice lug outsole. We're gonna get into that in a minute. I did brush it. I have my horsehair brush here, and I was brushing it off, and it cleaned up quite a bit. I had it even more dusty, but right now it is on the dirty side. I wanted to read for you guys just real quickly the Charles F. Stead website. They have a little description on this leather. They said, this leather finished on the flesh side includes an antique contrast applied by hand beneath a blend of natural waxes for a unique natural marbled aesthetic. So that's something I've noticed, is that marbled aesthetic really does pop out. The antique colors are blended to complement the base dyeing for an authentic rugged leather with a depth of color and texture. And I think they nailed it with the description. This is a rugged. That's why I say it feels tougher than some of the work leather out there. Super pliable, and as we get into the break-in process and stuff like that, that's where I'll talk more on that. Now, as we're on the leather real quick, I won't do a cleaning video, but let's talk about some of the care instructions and what they talk about on the website. So this leather could handle a leather cleaning. You can use leather cleaner or saddle soap if you wish to. Often you'll find this leather isn't gonna need clean though. A good brushing is all you're gonna need for a long time. They don't want you to apply anything right out the gate because it is ready to go. It already has all the waxes it needs in it. Someone told me, one of the boot makers in the Pacific Northwest said it's always a good idea to hit it with some waterproofing spray. I do think that could still apply in this boot. I didn't do that, I kind of forgot, but I think most boots you buy, you can go ahead and waterproof spray it right out the gate. It's not gonna need conditioner though. Again, 9 times out of 10, just brush it and you'll be good to go. When you do wanna condition it, they actually say Big 4 is a great option. And so this stuff is just neatsville oil, shake it up, and a little goes a long way. It's not gonna darken. Really good stuff there. Or I think Black Rock could be a good one. Due to the leather, they're saying it's gonna take different leather balms and different waxes. They don't sound too picky, so I think you have a bit of flexibility there. I think these two would be really good choices. This just isn't gonna be a leather that's gonna need a lot of care. I like to have a little dauber brush, especially when I'm cleaning. This is good for around the welt there. You can get in all these stitches. Of course, you're gonna wanna take the laces off from time to time, but this is a good tool to have. I'll link this stuff as well as the boots in the description. When you guys buy stuff through those links, it doesn't cost you any extra. It just tells them that I sent you there, and it helps me keep making videos like this. So as we're talking about the outside of the boot and still in that category of the leather, since May of 2025, this boot does have a true cap toe. I don't know if they used to run kind of a transition there and it was only one piece, but now that's 2 pieces of leather. And the heel counter right here on the back is also another piece of leather. So that's a true double, and the toe cap up there is a true double. And then inside, they're going to have a heel stay, and that is gonna be another piece of leather. So that's gonna be veg tan leather to give it some rigidity. You know, you're always smacking your heel, so you'll see most boots have some kind of structure in there. Usually it's either plastic or cardboard. The cardboard breaks down easy. Plastic, we're just trying to get as many natural ingredients in these boots as possible. So you're not gonna see any pull tabs on these boots, and that is something that I miss, but I'm also thankful that they don't have it. It's kind of one of those catch-22 things for me because it does make it where my pants don't get caught. So I do appreciate that. That's nice. There is an extra layer of leather around the top here. So it's 2 layers thick there's a layer on the inside there. And then as I open the boot up, you're gonna notice that it's a gusseted tongue. So not all the way up, but about halfway up, there's a tongue gusset there. And I would say that's been one of the tricks for me with this boot, is remembering to go ahead and unlace it very, very loose. So that's what it takes for me to be able to get my foot in nicely, especially without a pull tab. I suppose I could use a shoehorn, but I always forget. That has helped me. So over the last month and a half, I've been remembering to open it up all the way, and then I can get my boot in. That's one of the biggest complaints of one of my Thursday boots. The Explorers do not have a gusseted tongue. It's like an 8-inch boot, and people go to that style boot for heavy outdoor use. They really want to make sure to keep all the elements out of the laces and getting in and getting your foot soaking wet. But Thursday kind of missed the point on that and didn't do the gusseted tongue. So I think a lot of guys will be happy to see that comes up right about where your pants would cover it, so you're not getting as many rocks and stuff in there. So we talked about the leather heel counter in there, and moving out to the outside again, we're gonna start talking about this welt. So it's a full 360-degree welt. Oftentimes you'll see bootmakers use a 270, and it stops right back here by the heel and comes around and stops there again. This is a 360-degree Goodyear welt, and that is a leather piece right there. One of the marks on my Thorogood boots is that they use a plastic welt, and folks are concerned that plastic is hard and rigid and it dries and cracks, and the stitching will kind of break through and you'll have like 20,000 million little cracks. So often when you take your boots to a cobbler and you get them resoled, that plastic will be replaced with leather. But that's a veg tan piece right there. I think it looks really, really clean. I love the Goodyear welt. So these can be resold by any of your cobblers. Just take it down there and they'll know exactly what to do with it. Inside the boot there, they use another piece of veg tan leather for the insole and the midsole. So you're gonna see that veg tan throughout. You can kind of see the natural edge there, a couple pieces. You're seeing the Goodyear welt, and then you're seeing the midsole. Then the insole is also gonna be veg tan. It does have a small little piece of brown kind of finished. I don't know if that's chrome tan leather right there with their little insignia on it glued down. But underneath there, you can also see that veg tan liner, if you will. Well, it's not a liner, it's just the insole. There's not a removable liner on this boot. There is a bit of padding underneath the heel there. I don't exactly know what that is. I think it's cork, but I'd have to double check on that. Then moving out to the outside, something I'm excited about on this boot is gonna be that mini lug outsole. And then it has a leather stacked heel, a true leather stacked heel, and then again a lug shaped heel. You'll see some cheap boot makers are taking little tiny strips of leather and they're putting them right here. In fact, I was looking at these boots the other day. I was pretty keen on looking at the reviews quickly, and that's where I saw that they use that fake stacked heel, and that's just, for me and how long I've been at boots, that's despicable. It turned me off right away. So guys, this kind of reminds me of my Red Wing Iron Rangers have the Vibram mini lug. This seems to be proprietary lug. It has the Parkhurst logo on it. So that's something that they've done, but it really looks a lot like the Vibram one. This, of course, is going to be grippy, but not too grippy and not too heavy. This boot, again, overall is not a very heavy boot. I would say compared to my Nick's Urban Loggers or my Frank's Wilshires, those are both really heavy boots, and sometimes it makes you not want to wear them as much. These guys still are very manageable for me, not near as heavy. Love that outsole, taking it on a bunch of adventures, and any boot that I see with that kind of structure, I usually can trust it pretty good. We'll see how it wears in a year, a month and a half, 26 something miles. It's doing very good. So on to the last, of course, that's the mold, whether it be wood, plastic, composite material that the boot is made on. So you take a structure like this, shape of a foot, and you wrap the leather around it and build the boot on this particular mold. So that's the last. And this is the 618 last. It's originally designed for their stitch down boots, and it's taken some hints from the 602 or the 18. So in terms of fit, it's gonna be pretty sleek and pretty tight. So they say if you want something maybe above a D width, maybe a high D or E and beyond, you're gonna wanna go up half a size. So this worked really good for me. I felt like this particular last just fits me very perfect, very snug, as bespoke as I feel like I've had a boot. I got the opportunity to have the size 11 and 11 and a half sent to me because I'm working with Parkhurst on this video to be able to bring you guys more and more videos. They did send me out the boots for free to review. But guys, you know that I'm not under any contracts. I don't sign anything. I get to just say whatever I want. But I do work with brands that I'm interested in, that I think that I'll have a lot of good things to say about. So I'm not just gonna work with someone and then trash their product because I got better things to do with my time. You all know Parkhurst, that's why you came here, and so do I. But they sent me out these boots and I got the 11 and the 11 and a half. So as we get into sizing, I'll talk about that. But guys, this last seems to be it for me. I really like this. So this is a size 11 in that 618 last, and it is working for me. So if you've been watching the channel a bit, you'll know that I'm a size 12 on a Brannick device, and in my Thursday boots, I wear a lot of 11 and a half. So I think all across the board, 11 and a half. I ordered a 12 from Thursday at first, and it was a little too big, but never uncomfortable. So that even worked for me. But in most Red Wings, I'm a size 11. I did get Chelsea boots in 11 and a half. So I've, bounced around a little bit there. But as a rule, in Red Wings, I'm a size 11. And then in my Nick's and whites, I've gotten 11 in those. In Frank's, I had 11.5 and 11. The 11.5 was a little too big, so 11 there as well. I did just get a pair of Oak Street Bootmakers, and I got an 11.5. I have issues right now shipping back and forth, so rather than trying the 11 and it not working and shipping back, I tried the 11.5, and actually that feels really good. Probably what these felt like in an 11.5 for me. I had the 11 and the 11.5, and honestly guys, I think I could have made either of them work, because it wasn't too roomy. So I didn't notice a huge difference between them, but I will say that this one just fit perfect. And I thought if anything, it'll give a scotch as I wear them and break them in and sweat and expand a little bit. And since they felt great, I tried them on carpet for about 45 minutes, taking them on and off and switching, and you know how stressful that was. But guys, I landed on the 11, and now after several miles, they're doing great. But of course, that depends on what kind of socks you're wearing, right? So with good new boots, I had to get some new socks. Now, we've talked about socks a lot on the channel. I've had a lot of recommendations, and I'll tell you, I have been very guilty of wearing bad socks. I've tried to get some higher end Walmart ones, and I don't know if I'm just not focused or lazy, but I haven't ordered any, and finally I did. So guys, I went with 2 different companies to try to start and get into the sock world and see what was better for me. I'm excited to hear some feedback from y'all, but I got the Darn Tough. So these are gonna be wool socks, merino wool, and it's not a very tall sock, but you'll see it's more than plenty for these boots. So I have found these to be an amazing sock. They're very comfortable, they fit good. I think they were XL, I can't remember, but I got them to make sure they fit a person with the size 12 foot. And then I went with the XL on the Camel City Mill socks. Now these are from one of my fellow YouTubers, my colleagues if you will. So he started a sock company. This is their XL, and he is from Boot Spy, the YouTube channel Boot Spy. Now he does socks, he has a belt, and I'm excited to see where he goes. Something I like about these is the bottom of the sock has these little cushiony bits right there, and that just feels amazing on my foot. The thing I just can't get on with these socks though is the calf is not big enough, and I didn't think I had particularly big calves. I'm pretty skinny down there, but a bit muscly, and for what it's worth, they are not working for me in the calf region. I do still wear them for the day, but when I get home, I take my socks off right away. Sometimes I do that anyways. I'll slip into some shorter socks and my house shoes, which guys, I have a really fun house shoe video coming up soon. I can't wait for that one to come out for y'all. But these guys, let me know if you found a merino wool sock that's a little bit bigger in the calf other than these. These well, I wouldn't say are big calves, but by the way, I'm picking dog hairs off. They don't show as much on these ones as they do here. My dog, that dog's cute, but his hair is everywhere. So let me know what you guys are wearing. What's working for you? I want something tough that's gonna last a while. I still think I'm gonna have these for quite a while. So I plan on doing a 1-year review. I plan on wearing these still. I'm just gonna suffer through the tight calf. I did dry them once, so maybe I won't dry them in the dryer anymore and hang dry them, but finally got into a little bit of good socks. You've seen me, I've had one other good pair in the past, but let me know what you guys are wearing. In terms of break-in on these boots, again, I was kind of hinting at that with the leather. It's pretty supple for me. Even though it's a tight fiber, shrunken leather, I felt like the break-in was very smooth for me. You're working with all leather through here and then a rubber outsole, but guys, I wore them in bursts. That's the way I'll put it. I wore them in bursts, so I would go out on a walk, I'd go out on a little hike and come back, take them off. Because of my work and I didn't want to scuff them up, I wouldn't wear them the whole day. I would wear them at times when I wasn't gonna be jacking them up or getting a big old nick in them or something. These are not, high fashion dress boots. I do feel like I can go to church, I could preach a wedding, I could do a lot of different, I could take my wife out in the town, a lot of good things. I think they'll dress up, but not quite there. But I still didn't want to scuff them up and just tear them up. I got plenty of boots. I got other work boots Sometimes I'm forgetful though, and I'll wear them in the wrong situation, but the break-in for me was super easy. Honestly, I felt like they broke in quickly. I never had any sores. Occasionally, I have my left pinky toe will rub on something. I did feel that at first, but I'm so used to that across the board that it wouldn't really have anything to do with the boots. So I did get the right size. Thank the Lord, I was happy about that. But honestly, I would say don't freak out about the break-in process. I got some junk under there. I think I stepped in gum. Don't freak out about the break-in process on these guys, because it didn't bother me. Let me know in the comments if you guys had any kind of troubles with the break-in. But this leather, I can't say enough good things about it. So on to maybe what I think about these boots after the first month and a half. Well, they come in at $398, and if you check back the channel or look online, you'll know that I can price out a lot of boots in that range. In fact, you could probably get 2 pair of Thursday boots for the cost of these. But in my estimation, these are gonna beat out the traditional Thursday Captains in most every single way. Now, if you check out their Brawler or maybe the Vanguard, they have this Challenger boot over there at Thursday. Some of those will probably give these boots a run for their money and come in at a little bit cheaper price point. Now that said, I think these guys are super competitive with a lot of top brands. I think even with the Pacific Northwest, they're gonna come in a little cheaper than some of those and offer really good components. We are a month and a half in, so hang back, subscribe to the channel. We'll be sure to have a 1-year review, talk about how these boots are holding up. But I'll tell you, they have all the bones to be a really phenomenal boot. So working with them on the back end has been really good. I think if you guys put in an order or you have any questions, you have to process a return or something, they're gonna be really great to work with. They're using a lot of US materials. They were reportedly being made in the US before COVID, and then some of those factories shut down. So they're off in Spain and Portugal. These boots were made in Portugal, and they have a tight-knit relationship with their suppliers and their factories. They're over there always on the cutting edge of research and development. So honestly, guys, I don't have any bones with these. I don't have any complaints with Parkhurst at all. I think you know, everything is rising in cost, and you got to put your money in the right place. And so be cautious of where you're spending your money. I would give these guys an A+ rating. I'm super stoked with Parkhurst, so I'm proud to partner with them and proud to have them on the channel. I think it's a really good direction to go, and they're offering some phenomenal leathers. So guys, give that a go. Make sure to ask any questions you have. I'll get to them. We'll get into some dialogue in the comments, but before I let you guys go, we're out here kind of east of Austin, Texas. I'm at a state park. We're gonna go on some trails and put a few more miles on these things before we get out of here. Well, friends, we are at the halfway mark, made it up to this beautiful vista, and check it out, guys. This is such an awesome view. We came at the perfect time of night. We got that perfect golden hour, and let me tell you, the boots are doing amazing. So This is a very rocky terrain over in Texas, east of Austin. So it's shockingly pretty hilly out here. Feels like parts of back home in Colorado. But guys, we got the rest of the trip back. I'm gonna do what we can to get back before dark, so I'll meet up with you guys back over at the campsite. Well, what do you know, we got back in the dark, cutting it a little closer than I usually like it, but I'll tell you what, that was a fun walk. We got 2.88 miles in, so it brought my total up to 30 miles in these boots so far. Let me tell you what, guys, these are definitely in my top 5, so that's huge. If you've checked back the channel and you've seen all my boots, that's saying something. So I really like these boots. I'm an open book on them. Looking forward to answering any questions you guys have. Again, you'll find a link down in the description below. Check it out, you know, see if Parkhurst is for you. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming up on the channel, so make sure and subscribe and come back often because we got some really fun stuff. Hope you guys are liking this layout as I wear the boots for a month before I go rambling on about them. This is the kind of stuff we're doing over here at the Gentleman's Journey. So friends, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give your boots some love from time to time.